In this video, I'm going to show you why being booked out for 4 weeks is not always a sign of success and how it could actually be the thing that's killing growth in your painting business. If you clicked on this video, you're probably wondering the answer to these 3 questions. First, when does a full schedule stop being a good thing? Second, how do I know if I have a labor bottleneck instead of a lead problem? And third, how do I fix it so I can keep growing without sacrificing profit? Let's get into it. If we haven't met, I'm Daniel Honan. I'm a CPA and former painting business owner. And over the last 10 years, I've helped more than 500 painting business owners from startup to 20 million in revenue understand their numbers, improve their profitability, and make better growth decisions. And one of the biggest mistakes I see owners make is assuming that a long backlog is always a good thing. Sometimes it is, but many times it's actually a warning sign that your business is getting stuck. So let's talk about what's really happening. If you're booked out more than 4 weeks, at first it feels like a good problem to have. Demand is there, jobs are coming in, the schedule's full, but then the downsides start to show up. Homeowners don't want to wait that long. Leads start cooling off. Close rates begin to drop. Your sales team feels more pressure. And even though demand is still there, growth starts slowing down. And that's why this is so important to understand. This is not a marketing problem. It's a capacity problem. You can't keep scaling sales if you can't scale production. There's a really helpful framework here called the Rule of 3. It was coined by Tara Riley, former CEO of Fresh Coat Painters. And here's a simple way to tell whether labor is becoming your bottleneck. Now here's the rule of 3. 1, you need to get back to leads within 3 minutes. 2, you need to get out to the prospect's home for an estimate within 3 days. And 3, you need to produce the customer's project within 3 weeks. If you can't do that, there's a good chance you don't have a lead problem, you have a labor constraint. And this is where a lot of painting business owners get stuck. They think, we just need more leads. But more leads won't solve the issue if you can't serve the leads that are already coming in. In fact, a long backlog can start working against you. It means lost sales, slower growth, lower close rates, more scheduling headaches, and more stress for everyone on your team. So when you're booked out too far, the smartest investment you can make is not more marketing, it's more production capacity, because every painter you add can unlock more weekly revenue, faster scheduling, higher close rates, and a shorter backlog, and less pressure on your sales. Hiring painters during high demand is one of the highest ROI moves you can make. Quick pause. If you enjoy learning like this and you want help understanding the numbers behind growing a painting business, I wrote a book called Profitable Painter. It's specifically for painting business owners who want to know their numbers, improve profitability, and scale with more confidence. If you want a copy, you can get it for free plus shipping. Just click the link in the description below. All right, let's jump back in. Now let's talk about how to hire painters without making a bad financial decision. This is where I use a simple rule called the lifetime employee gross profit to cost to acquire talent ratio. So that's lifetime employee gross profit divided by cost to acquire talent. Here's the target. You want that ratio to be 10 to 1 or better. In plain English, for every dollar you spend recruiting a painter, you want to generate $10 in lifetime gross profit from that employee. Why does that matter? Because it gives you a profitability-based hiring rule. To illustrate this ratio, let's take a quick example. Let's say that we have a bunch of different painters, right? So here are my painters, and over time, my painters stay with me on average 1 year. So some of them stay with me 1 month. Some of them stay with me 2 years, 3 years, 6 months. I average that all out and they stay with me 1 year altogether. So over that course of time, they bring in gross profit, right? So they're making about $30 an hour, $250 per day. And of that $250, about $125 of that is going into my pocket. So $125 per day of gross profit is what they're making me. And so if they're staying with me on average a year, we can do some math to figure out how much gross profit they're getting me per day. There's about 20 working days per month, and 20 times 12 equals 240 days times that $125 per day. So that equals $30,000 in gross profit. So the question is, how much are we willing to pay to get that additional $30,000 in gross profit? Now, using our formula or our ratio, our ideal ratio of lifetime employee gross profit, which is 30K in this case. So that is our LTEGP. How much should we be willing to pay to get that $30,000? So how much we should be willing to pay is our cost to acquire talent, our C.A.T. And so I would say 1 to 10. So that means I would be willing to pay at least $3,000 to get 30K. So 30K to 3K is our 10 to 1 ratio. And so that gives us a budget on how much we should be willing to spend to acquire a new painter. So that is the lifetime employee gross profit to cost to acquire talent ratio in action. Most owners only focus on the upfront recruiting costs. They think about job ads, recruiting fees, referral bonuses, and time spent interviewing. But the better question is not how little can I spend to hire? The better question is, will this hire generate enough gross profit to justify the recruiting spend? That mindset changes everything, because if hiring one strong painter helps you shorten the backlog, increase your close rates, produce more work each week, that hire can pay off in a huge way. So if you're short on labor, don't rely on just one recruiting source. Use multiple channels at the same time. Some of the fastest recruiting channels for painters are LinkedIn, Indeed ads, Craigslist, ZipRecruiter, Facebook groups, especially local contractor groups, and employee referral bonuses. If your backlog is sitting at 4 to 6 weeks, run all of these at once until you get that backlog down into a healthier 2 or 3 week range. And let me say one more thing about employee referrals, because this is one of the best ways to find good painters if you structure it in the right way. The best practice is what I call the 90-day rule. Pay the referral bonus after 90 days, and only if the new hire was not fired. And why does this work so well? Because it creates accountability. The employee making the referral now has an incentive to refer someone solid, and they're more likely to help that person actually succeed. It reduces quick churn, and it protects your cash flow, and it filters out low quality referrals. That one small policy can make your referral program dramatically better. And when you do all of this right, here's what happens. Your backlog drops from 4 to 6 weeks down to around 2 or 3 weeks. Your close rates improve, your sales team gets relief, and your revenue ceiling goes up because labor is no longer choking growth. So here's a quick recap. If you're booked out more than 4 weeks, don't automatically assume that it's a great thing. It may actually be a sign that your business is stuck because labor has become the bottleneck. Use the rule of 3 to diagnose it. Get back to leads within 3 minutes, get to estimates within 3 days, produce projects within 3 weeks. If you can't do that, you may need to hire. And when you do hire, use that ratio to ensure your recruiting spend stays profitable. Aim for at least a 10 to 1 ratio. Then recruit across multiple channels and structure referral bonuses with the 90-day rule, so you build a stronger crew that actually stays. And if you want to better understand numbers that drive the value of your company, watch my next video, which is, what is your painting business really worth? Because most painting business owners think they know what their business is worth, and they're way off. And I'll see you in that next video. Click the screen now.